Hey, welcome to Toontyme, bringing you Newcastle United news and discussion. So it's been an eventful weekend in regards to Newcastle United. Unfortunately, I didn't have the time to make a post-match review, so I'll speak about that briefly, as well as other Newcastle United news that has come up this week. So yeah, the game on Saturday, it was quite interesting in terms of our inability to break down Bournemouth and the lack of creativity and ingenuity to find other methods to break through their lines when missing Callum Wilson, Sam Maximin. Obviously, he was the biggest one missing, and Bruno is firing at not at full capacity basically. So those are some of our chief playmakers, and he really told on Saturday as Bournemouth happily sat in and just counter-attacked. You know that they knew their plan, they knew their limitations, and they've done the right thing for them. You know, frustrate the team, frustrate the crowd, especially on due to the events that had unfolded in terms of the impacts that had happened to the country due to the passing of the monarch. So certain parts of the atmosphere were muted already. So to ramp up the crowd, we needed the team to get ahead early, and unfortunately that didn't happen and fell behind. The fact that the team reacted, that's what I do like about what Eddie Howe's doing at Newcastle, is that he always manages to get some type of reaction from his players, even though the reaction was in ways quite poor. They still tried to make opportunities, and eventually they managed to get that penalty. You know, it was a really tough game watching. You could see that basically they were just using the same type of moves. There was no fresh impetus, in terms of the way players moved and the way they moved the ball at times. And I think that's partly to do with missing the key players, as well as like Kieran Trippier mentioned it as well about Isaac. He's getting used to the team, and they have to manage to get some opportunities for him and get used to the new player and the way he moves and how he can, as well as him being able to impact the team. It's just a matter of time. It's just one of those things to gel into the team and the framework that Eddie Howe's building and what he expects of the players. It just takes us time. It's So it was good to see that Isaac stepped up for the penalty. That's what you want to see, that he's got that confidence in himself, as well as that he's willing to shoulder the responsibility to take on the biggest moments, because that was a really crucial time. If he had missed, we were most likely losing that game, because even though we had control of the game, at times it just didn't feel like the momentum was fully on our side, and it was really frustrating watching that game. As now it's what is it? One draw, one loss, and one win, one loss, and five draws. I think that's what it is, and it's disappointing that we haven't picked up more points, but compared to where we were before, it's night and day. We're playing proper football, taking our destiny into our own hands. That's what we wanted to see from the Newcastle United football team. So when I heard that there was booing from a very small section of fans, I didn't understand where it's coming from. I've seen comments where some people were talking about 200 million's been spent and I don't think people are taking it into proper context. 200 million has been spent. Yes, that is very true. A lot of money has been spent on that squad, but it's to bring the squad up to par. Newcastle, the first team, is now up to par for a Premier League team that to be a disruptive force in the league. But you do not have a squad. You don't have a Premier League level squad really. A lot of the players on the fringes, on those who are supposed to be substitutes or challenging for first team spots. If we're being honest, there shouldn't really should be in the lower reaches of the league. Maybe not even in the league. Certain players. The way I don't really like dropping names, but Mankio, the way he's fallen to into disarray, but he was always quite limited in ways as well. He would work hard, but if we're being honest, he wasn't consistent enough in terms of his play, in terms of what he's going to give you. You got Jacob Murphy, who's been one of the chief culprits this season in terms of coming off the bench and not really offering enough other than hard work. And you do want to see that from players. You want to see them endeavour to work really hard, but the lack of quality is just it's outstanding, and not in a good way. There's been moaning about Miguel Almiron that he's another person who works hard, he's always got a smile on his face, but he's lacking that quality in the final third. I'm just trying to think of all these players. It's that truthfully that you can see that they have to be moved on for the betterment of the squad, and for the betterment of their careers, because the time in this new era of Newcastle anyway is unfortunately coming to an end. It just has to happen, and those who are moaning, I don't understand it. You finally got a team that's playing football the way we want to see it be played, with bravery, and attacking impetus. But you gotta understand this. At the moment, there's a lot of fatigue and injuries in the first team. The first team players. So the players who are coming up underneath are of the same quality. So there's gonna be a drop. Eddie Howe is trying to get the most out of them, but they do lack that ingenuity and quality. And it's just have to just buy their time. He's been getting results. He's been excellent since he's come, and I don't understand or like hearing that there's some people who are saying, "What is he doing? He's not doing good enough." No, he's doing absolutely fine. As far as I'm concerned, he's perfect. You have to give him this season. This season was never about really challenging the top 6 or top 8. If we could, that'd be great. And maybe further along in the season, when everything settles down a bit more and the fixture congestion just levels out a bit, but it won't really this season because of how unique it is due to the Winter World Cup. So people just have to be patient. He's done a lot. He took a team that was in disarray. He settled the squad. He got the new additions that he wanted in, and he got a tune out of them. And he's been doing well. Pardon me. Sorry about that. It's just unbelievable how some people are reacting. I remember in January when all that money had been spent, I did feel, I'm not going to lie about it, I did feel if he had failed and we had got relegated, I would have personally felt being off the thought process that maybe he's not the guy. He's been given the opportunity, he's been backed. Yes, it's a very hard situation, but money had been spent, so it's up to him to produce the results, which he thankfully did, and he done it with aplomb. He done it excellently. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm very much in the Eddie Howe in camp. I don't want to see any more talk about he should be under any type of spotlight or pressure, because he's doing a good job. He's doing very well. You can see that the players they're frustrated at the moment, but they're happy. They know that he wants them to extract the most out of themselves, and now to get some consistency in their play, as well as elevate their play. And I think that's going to happen over the coming weeks. Thankfully the international break has come, so it's managed to give us a little bit of time to recuperate and get this squad settled. And hopefully, after it, at least Alan Saint-Maximin should be back. Maybe Callum Wilson as well, but that's more unlikely. And you can get some more. Well, Bruno's gone to with the Brazil squad, but he shouldn't be playing that much. I don't believe. At least I hope he doesn't. And we just have to go from there. I heard that he was talking about he wants to score more goals and he wants to be able to play in the same role he had last season. But unless Janjo makes the miraculous comeback that I've heard that he may make, then it's unlikely, as we need someone to play in that pivot role. And Sean Langstaff, he can play there, but I don't think Eddie Howe trusts him enough, because at times his passing can be a bit erratic. Well, if he can get him in or get someone to play in that pivot type role, he will free up Bruno and Joe Linton again, because having those two playing as the box-to-box midfielders last season, it really elevated the way that we played, because they had the physicality as well, but to show the creativity and skill. More so Bruno going forward, but yeah, I just want to see that happen again, but you have to just wait some time. You have to bide our time. Yeah, that's mainly what I wanted to speak about. There's been other things, but I'm gonna speak about that tomorrow. As I've been seeing certain things, I've been hearing about the Premier League making their moves to basically throttle any challenges to their throne. They want the big six to stay the same. I think I heard something about introducing new rules about or about the revenue being tied to their ability to buy players, pay wages, and so forth. And I believe in 2023 it's 80%. No, it's 90%, and 2024 it's 80%, and then 2025 will be 70%. So it's slowly be decreasing, and they're essentially introducing a wage cap tied to their ability to generate revenue, and basically it's going to keep the rich, as they want those teams at the top to remain there, which is frankly, it's just pathetic basically. And if it's it just kills the sport in a way, as you're always going to have the same top dogs, and you don't want anyone challenging them. And what's the point of it if you're just going to see the same teams winning every year? There's going to be teams that are always towards the top, but the whole point of the sport is to dream. Yes, Newcastle have their problems in terms that it's a state-run club and all of the sports washing and all those things, but it's added competition, and that's what you want to see. I think I was reading an article in the Guardian where they were talking about that parallel. They were talking about in the US sports, and how they happen to chance upon that type of what's the word for it? Well, basically where everyone has the opportunity. It's because you've got the draft, you've got salary cap in the NFL, at least a hard salary cap at that, as well as it, the way the trade and franchise tags and all of those factors that allow those clubs to compete, or at least feel that they can eventually field a roster that can be competitive and maybe make a run towards the Super Bowl, you know, and that's how it should be. You should be able to know that if you do the things correctly in terms of staff and player acquisition, the coach of your club, and just having the right talent available, it's having everything come together, and then you can potentially win things, and that's how it should be. But I'll go into further depth about that tomorrow. Anyway, thank you for listening. Wherever you are, have a good morning, afternoon, evening, or night. Peace.